round two, in heat one, I should say. Second and a fourth in his heats, and then second step of the podium in the all-important final. Mason Perrin, well, he's third in the championship with a fourth place, and the third step of the podium at Forest Edge was Reese Green. We've got the grid of karts that have been released for the first race of the weekend, and it will be mixed grids. Mixed grids, just to remind everybody, it's new, that's just joining us and you haven't quite grasped what I mean by mixed grids. Every competitor will have 3 heats, and those 3 heats, you get a mixed grid position. You start near the front, you start in the middle, and you start near the back. So obviously the drivers at the front for their heat will want to maximise their points haul going forward into tomorrow's all-important finals. Like I said, we're here at Fulbeck, and a bit of an old-school track. It's been here quite a while. It's a 938-metre track, just under the 1 kilometre, but it's a very fast track, but it's got some very, very ample opportunities for passing, and for that we love, because here at Karting Live TV, we're in the entertainment business, and that's what racing is about. Through this section here, and through a sweeping left-hander onto the start-finish straight, and hopefully we'll get a green flag for everybody. The clock is ticking, and it looks like we're racing. We missed the chicane out, the first of the bus stops, and we head into the top bend, which is a sweeping 180-degree turn. It's not a hairpin. It's a very fast sweeper of a turn. And they're already through bus stop number 2, which is then leads into a very, very quick left-hander. And that's called the bottom left, is how it's being named here. And then into the boot section, which is named because it's the shape of the boot. We've got a massive lead already being formed here, and it's Ollie Owen on the number 73, absolutely checked out from everybody else. He's left Billy Vogt, Isaac Reynolds, Jacob Hobbs, Blake Tyser, Jensen Watts, Lewis Brown, Ben Ballou, Jack Stevenson, Aaron Meddy. That's your top 10, but right now everybody's trying to chase down that number 73 through the second of the bus stops. And we've got a problem there. Somebody sliding wide, causing a bit of a cork in the bottle. These chicanes here at Fulbeck absolutely test your mettle using the curves. Curves been reprofiled in the last few years, with the leader already accelerating out of the boot and on towards the start finish. The rest of the field coming through the boot section now. It joins the paddock, and it's a fast exit through that very tight right-hander. First of the bus stops, and Ollie Owen, Billy Vogt, Jacob Hobbs, Jensen Watts moving up a couple of places there already, into 4th there for the number 1. Jensen, of course, the reigning 2024 Senior Road Tax Champion, and he's into 3rd as they head down to the left-hander at bottom left, and that's Jensen Watts, who's gone wide and finds himself fired onto the grass there. I'm not quite sure what happened to Watts. Missed his braking, it seemed. Just got it on the outside edge of the track and then just ran out the track, kicking up the dust there as he did. He will resume, but he almost places gain for Jensen. He's now lost out massively there and has come through in 11th place. He was 3rd, but coming through there after that off-track excursion, he'll be kicking himself quite literally in that helmet of his. But Ollie Owen, Billy Vogt, that's your 2 leaders. And if anything, that gap beginning to come down. Billy Vogt on the blue and white cart. That's the orange and black of Lewis Brown, with side-by-side action into the left-hander at bottom left, and then into the caravan corner, which is a hairpin. And carts there just bogging down somewhat. That section here is the boot. And out of the boot and across the line. It's Ollie Owen. The gap's 1.1 seconds. So Billy Vogt, fastest lap for Billy Vogt there with a 45.296. He's off and he's chasing after him as the rest of the field just come through that first bus stop. About half a minute away now from the half distance in this first heat of the weekend. That's the back section, the second of the bus stops. It's a roughly simple left-right-left chicane, but you've got to absolutely get the cart stopped And then from Caravan into the boot section here to left-right. There's the paddock in the background there. And you can see how quick the exit is there. You've got to get that cart accelerating. Into top end then. Billy Vogt brings the gap down ever closer. We're soon going to need not to be checking the stopwatches because Ollie Owen will soon be able to hear that engine of Billy Vogt. You get a feeling of a presence behind you. Your engine note is swamped by another engine note, and Vogt is bringing that gap down. The yellow and blue cart there of Ollie Owen being chased down by Vogt. And as they come through, the left-hander onto the start-finish straight, just clip the curb and across the line. The gap's down to half a second. It was 1.1 when we first start checking. And with just under 3.5 minutes remaining, that blue and white cart of Billy Vogt, can he catch him? He's certainly catching Ollie Owen, but can he catch him and pass him? That's the thing, and he's got a lot of momentum there. That's the first use of the word momentum for the weekend there in the bag. Into Caravan. It's a very tight right-hand hairpin, this one. That rumble strip on the outside of the corner as well is very harsh. It certainly rattles your teeth. And out of the boot they come through the sweeping left-hander onto the start-finish straight. The gap was half a second to Ollie Owen. It's 4/10. Ollie responding now to the presence of that blue and white cart of Billy Vogt through top end. And using all of that speed, optimising the speed onto that straight through the little kink there before they hit this chicane. And it's a very tight chicane, certainly slows the competitors down. And then he has to be very smooth through here. Get the power down out of the hairpin, use the bit of the curb, rattles your teeth, but you've got to use it. Into the boot section then, and then through the right-hander and on. And it will be 8 laps completed now. And Ollie Owen has responded to the presence of Billy Vogt. Behind them, Lewis Brown. Ben Ballou is in 4th. Bertie Wellesley up and ahead of Freddie Worlock, who's gone ahead of Blake Ticehurst. Jack Stevenson in 8th. Matthew Lambert 9th. Jensen Watts regaining a little bit of ground there. Now inside the top 10. Melissa Adrian on the number 100, just outside the top 10 in 11th. Back to the front though, as the leaders come through. The gap was half a second across the line. They're getting very close to completing 9 laps now, with less than 90 seconds in this first heat for Senior Rotax 162 category. That's the 162 minimum weight kilograms. 162 kilograms minimum weight is what I'm trying to say. And across the line they go then. And that's under 3/10 now. This is when we're going to press. Looks over his shoulder. Defends into the top end, and that's a sweep. Don't want to scrub off any speed by going wide. When is Billy Vogt on that blue and white card going to pounce? Tries an interesting line with a defensive line from the yellow and blue liveried cart of Ollie Owen. Again defensive into Caravan, and they're being joined by Lewis Brown if they're not careful, defending, hence slowing the pace from that optimised lap time. And the 2-cart race for the lead has now become a 3-cart race, because here comes Lewis Brown, and not that far behind is Ben Ballou. It'll be 2 more laps now out of the first of the bus stops, heading towards top end. Turn it in, try to not get the car to slide too much to the outside. Absolutely great driving from all 3. If there's going to be a move, it's going to have to come soon into the second of the bus stops. And then on, very short stretch before that very fast left-hander at bottom. And then into Caravan, and there's a move down the inside. Lewis Brown down the inside of Billy Vogt. Billy gets caught napping a little bit at the Caravan, and it was all about coming out of that left-hand bottom bend. And then Billy Vogt took the correct line, but left the door open for Lewis Brown. And it's the final lap of this race, and can Lewis Brown come through and snatch it? Exciting stuff here to kick off the weekend in the Junction 6 NKC. Round 2 here at Fulbeck. The first heat about to see the checkered flag We've had 8 minutes and 1 lap from these, and defensive driving there from Ollie Owen. He stays defensive at Caravan, and time running out now. They're into the boot, and it's going to be very, very tricky to pass here, because this now is an acceleration zone. Through the left-hand sweep onto the start-finish straight to take the checkered flag, and heat number 1 goes to Ollie Owen, but right there with him, 69 thousandths of a second, was Lewis Brown, and just behind Lewis Brown, Billy Wood comes through in third. Ben Ballou, winner of round 1 at Forest Edge, comes through in fourth. Freddie Willock was fifth, and then we had Blake Tyser sixth, Bertie Wellesley seventh, Matthew Lambert eighth. Jensen Watts continues making ground and comes through in ninth. Melissa Adrian finally got into the top 10. The rest of the 32